Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Feel like we were just here the other day. Looking forward to getting things going today. This is going to be a lot of fun. So, we are doing this again. We are launching another ATEM Mini stand because as soon as I launched the first one, everybody asked me about the Extreme stand. So, okay, it is here. Let me take a look through the chat first to see who we've got and see if there's any questions I can answer before we go over to the other table and take a look at what we've got going over there. But thank you all for joining so much. Good to see all of you here in the chat. I see a lot of familiar faces. Dave says the music woke me up. Awesome. Did I read there will be a promo code during the stream? Yes, you did. I will be sharing that as soon as I go over and share the links and stuff like that. So if you did find the link already, which actually it's not hard anymore, it's in the description of this video, but don't order yet. I will give you the promo code. I want to show you the thing first though. I want to take it out of the box. So, okay, wait, I have too many buttons here. What am I doing? I need to go over and do that first. There we go. Nope, that was the wrong button. Okay, what are we doing? What are we doing today? We are going to, that should do it. That's better. Okay. We are going to take a look at the stand that I've got in the box from the real one from the manufacturer. Last week, I showed you the prototype that I've been printing on my printers, which are, I have the Preorders Mini, it's a good printer. It's actually one of the ones making some of the parts in production, but I don't have fancy filament, and I have not done any tuning of my printer. It is straight out of the box, so I have done nothing to mine, so the prototypes are functional, but they're not as nice as the real one. Randy asks, how many have I sold before the announcement today? I don't actually know. I don't see the actual back end of the ordering systems, but I did hear that 2 have been sold. So some people figured out how to find them ahead of time without going through the links. But hold your horses. Okay. Nice lighting today. Thank you. Yeah, I think I got I remember to actually turn on my little color background this time. How do I make the video intro with the map? That is some special fancy code I wrote that it is on my GitHub. It is not easy to use. I am sorry. Jonas asks, will there be a version to self-print? There will be. That's not done yet. I'll talk more about that why. I'll talk more about that when I go over and show you the actual production one. Thanks. The multi-channel stream during the week was amazing. Can you say how you got the Zoom stream into the program? That was all recorded, so I captured. I think I did talk about that. I put timestamps in that video, so if you watched it live, go back and watch it now because I added timestamps to bookmark all the different sections I talked about. So go find the section about Zoom, and I talked about it there. But basically, it was a screen capture of the Zoom meeting. Do I have to feel bad if I don't have an ATEM Mini Extreme? No, you don't, because your stand has been available for a while now, if you have the ATEM Mini. Okay. I'll talk about the 3D printed version. I'm trying to make it actually manageable to print. It's complicated. There's a lot going on with this. Turns out you can't just enlarge the tiny version and make it bigger. Have I tried the ATEM controller app for iPad? I did, yeah. I've been using it on my phone. I haven't actually done it on an iPad yet, but I've been using it on my phone. It's pretty good. I like it. Is there a slot for a Pi in the stand? No, there's not specifically, but there are some interesting opportunities for things like that. So, okay, cool. We've got that going. Let me go over to the table, and I made this little thing you're about to see literally right before the stream, so it's not great, but I made a little transition. I want to finesse that a bit. So we're gonna go over there, but here, I'll see you over there. And the question is, Can you hear me? I believe you can hear me. Yes. Okay. Let me know if you can't. So, great. Audio is fine. That is excellent. So, here we go. What I want to show you is the box that you will actually get from the mail. The image quality is worse. It should be... Am I out of focus? I thought I put this camera in focus. It should be fine. Okay. The box you get is like this. And they wrote the first one on it because this is the first one that came off the printer. And I have literally not opened this up yet. So I am seeing this for the first time, just like you. So this is what you get in the box. It is a nice little package of all of the parts and some instructions in there. So let's go ahead and open this up. And here are all of the little pieces. It's a lot going on in this one. It's a lot more parts than the small mini stand. Okay, and nice little instruction booklet. So you actually get, you get instructions for how to put everything together. And over again, it says, do not over tighten. It's very important to not over tighten the screws because you can snap it if you do that. But this is the base model. So overhead camera is great, but your camera on you is low quality. That makes no sense. This is the Blackmagic camera. I'm trying to think of what in the world could be causing that. Why don't I have my glitter jacket on for this occasion? Good question. I should have done that. So, okay. The camera looks fine. Okay. Joseph says the camera on me is fine, so I'm going to believe his word on that. Cool. So the way this works is it comes in, there are 3 parts to the kit. So there's the stand, there's this is the prototype. I'll show you the difference between the printing quality in a minute. This is the complete version. So there's the stand. These little back legs are a separate piece because not everyone needs them. These clips are also a separate piece because, again, not everybody's going to need them. So those are sold separately as separate items on the stores, and the discount code is going to give you one of these basically for free. So I'll talk about why you might want those in a second. But what you get in the box is the base model is these parts. So these are the 2 side pieces, and then you've got the top and bottom bars have to be assembled because we had to get it into a box small enough to actually ship. And it turns out shipping long things is very complicated and expensive. So so we've got these 2 side pieces, and we've got now the top part that comes in 2 parts. And that is this top bar that you have to now attach together. And you might notice that it's got the same spot in the middle for that small rig cheese bar, but there is a special treat with this because that is now basically required for the stand to actually function. Like, you literally can't use it without the cheese bar in there because it's holding the 2 pieces together. So they actually made one. They actually designed one that is 3D printed. So this comes in the box. You don't have to buy it separately anymore. And they did actually put in threaded screw holes into the 3D print. And it does actually work, and it holds things. So this is a 3D printed cheese bar that's roughly equivalent to the Smallberg one. The holes are actually in a slightly different spot that actually make it work better for this particular use case. So here they are side by side. And you might notice that the holes for the monitor mount are centered in the 3D printed version. So if I attached my Smallberg to the prototype, and this can now attach directly into the cheese bar, into the plastic cheese bar, which is super cool. And this is actually made out of a different material too, so it's even stronger than the rest of it. So you can attach the monitor mount into the 3D printed cheese bar, which is super cool. Yeah, it centers the monitor for people who were complaining about that before. I will say the 3D printed screw threads are not as strong as metal ones, although it is pretty strong. Like, I'm turning pretty tight to get this in. But you are not going to want to take this in and out very often. So once this goes in, plan on it being in there for a good while. But it is not going anywhere, that is for sure. It's super strong. So that is, that's the new part for the top, and this now holds the two parts together. So I am not going to go and actually assemble this whole thing step by step because this is not the assembly instruction video. But I do want to show you what is in the box. You get these bottom bars. They work a similar way to the other one. These get assembled with, they actually got little left and right markers on them so you can tell which is which is a nice touch. But then they got little screw holes for screwing these together. And these ones, once they go in, you don't want to take them off because they will, that connection will wear down if you unscrew them. But these are the two bottom pieces that hold the bottom, the sides together. So, of course, in the box, you also get all of the screws you need in these nice little labeled packages. Bag 1, bag 2, there are, the instructions refer to the different bags. And the other part of the top bar is the little faceplate, which has the name of the product, PK1 Extreme. And that's so that, I'm going to just kind of hold it up. It's so that when this is put together like that, I didn't want you to see the gap. So this goes in front, and it goes and covers it up so that it looks like it's all focus. Come on, there we go. That way it looks nicer again. So you don't see the gap of the two parts. And there's, of course, screws to attach all that together. So that is the base kit. Now, why might you need the extra bits? So the ATEM will sit in it just fine. And if it's on a desk and relatively stationary, that's good enough, and you don't need anything else. If you are going to put on really heavy things that are, let me get my prototype in here. If you're going to put on very heavy monitors or attach a bunch of stuff onto the back, it's going to want to lean back, right? So these little feet are there. You can attach these feet, which will stop it from rocking. And these are my prototypes, so they're a little bit they're different in the box, but I don't have those here. But same idea. And those are an add-on. The other add-on you can get is these clips, which hold it down. And in last week's stream, you saw me pick up the whole stand and tip it over, and it holds it in super tight. So those are the other add-on. So if you want either of those add-ons, this is the time to get it, because if you order now with the promo code, you will get one of those thrown in for free. The promo code is very complicated. It is my last name in all caps, Parecki. So I'll just type that in for good measure into the chat so I can show it on the screen. That is the promo code, Parecki. So if you enter that into any of the stores and then choose the bundle, there's a bundle option in the stores for the stand with the clips, or the stand and the back feet. And those are, if you get the bundle option in your cart, use that promo code, it'll take the cost of the add-ons off of the cost of the whole thing. So basically it makes the bundle the same price as the base model. So, okay, let's take a look at the chat. What Blackmagic camera am I using? This is the Pocket 4K. The optional items, you should see them if you follow the main link from the product page. You probably won't see them, but down lower I have the add-ons, and I'll double check right now that I'll drop all the links in the chat in a second too. I wish the ATEM Mini stand will get a few of these features. I do too. I am at the very least. Oh, I forgot to talk about one. That reminded me. One thing about these future add-ons. So I wanted to be able to have these support additional things in the future. So the stand by itself, like if you just get the stand, the base model, it is a perfectly functional stand, and it does a good job of holding up the ATEM and giving you a spot to attach a monitor, because it now includes the cheese bar. You have to buy the monitor mount because that's a small rig part, but you know, the cheese bar is included, so you get all the screw holes on the top. If you want to attach more things, you've got a whole bunch of options here. So on the side, we've got all these screw holes, right? And these are specifically made for these small rig brackets. That's the same one that goes on the top. Although, actually, no, the actual one on the top does not go here, but the cheese bar version, the small rig version does. And I made it attach with embedded screws this time, so that the screws don't, do I have enough light there? Yeah. So the screws don't poke through the top, so this will be flat. The screws go inside. It also fits the larger cheese bar, and the larger, or cheese plate, I guess you would call it. And that mounts with three screws. So this one, same idea, the screws go into those little bits, and then you can attach stuff to the sides. So you got lots of options for attaching things on the sides, but even better on the back. So on the back, the bottom two screw holes are for the back legs, and they've got the back little feet. So that's where those will attach. These two screw holes are basically for add-ons, and there aren't any add-ons right now at the moment, but those are available for when we or anybody designs add-ons for the stand. So you can imagine that, I think, yeah, this is my prototype. So you can see the two screw holes on both sides. The idea is you would be able to attach things that might go across the back, or add more things up on the top, or whatever you want. Like, I don't even know what people are going to do with it, but that's what those are for. I'm going to publish the specs for like the size of the holes and the spacing in case anybody wants to do some 3D modeling and build things for add-ons, either just 3D print on your own or design a product for it. And that is so you can actually, so we can make more things to hold more stuff onto the stand in the future. So as far as the original stand goes, the mini stand, the plan I'm currently going to do is I am adding these holes to the model, and I'm changing a couple things about the sides. You might notice that this looks quite a bit, it's a lot more accessible inside than the mini one because, well, one, it's bigger, but I got rid of the extra little lip there. So I'm changing that on the mini stand as well, which means if you are getting the 3D model or buying it later than now, the original stand is going to be slightly different. It's not going to be hugely different. It's going to look basically the same as any of the other ones, but I did want to get the add-on holes for both stands as well. So the attention to detail is amazing. Thank you. This has been a lot of work, I will say. Okay. Tried the promo code, but it says the voucher does not exist. It should. Make sure you enter it in all caps. I know that's one of the tricks. Have I considered contacting Blackmagic to see if they'd be interested in cross promotion? I have not. I get the sense they Probably not. Okay, no bundle at DVE store. They are there. Let me go and find that. Oh, hey, super chat. Thanks, Shane. StreamYard part of your setup on Friday was a two-way call. What you feed in? How do you manage both your co-host and the StreamYard guest? Let me see. So I don't want to totally derail this session, but I can give you a quick answer, which was I fed in my camera through a capture card, a separate capture card, to StreamYard. And as far as StreamYard was concerned, it was just a regular call, and then it happened to be streaming to my studio. But again, I did add timestamps to that video from Friday, so you should be able to go to the StreamYard section, and I think I explained everything there. Oh, Randy, this is a great, thank you. Thank you for this. Search for PK1 Extreme on DVE store. That is the easiest way to find the bundles. But I'm going to go back and show you all of that. Oh, and thank you, Petra, for the super chat. And thank you for ordering it. Okay, let me go back to the desk so I can show you stuff on my computer. Did I forget anything here? Yeah, so we just want to double check. We got the included cheese bar made out of a harder plastic. I don't remember the actual names, but this is a stronger material than the rest of it. And this is included because it is part of the structure of the stand now. It is no longer something optional. So that is required, which is why it's included in the stand. You get all the screws. We've got the little faceplate to cover up the seam between the two top bars. And oh yeah, I wanted to show you side by side the quality difference between my prototypes and the real one. And I'm showing you this partly because a lot of the photos that you'll see on the website are actually of my prototypes because I didn't get this in until yesterday and I had to take the photos earlier. So here's an example of the differences when you actually know what you're doing with 3D printers. Let me see, what's the best way to show this? Probably the overhead camera. The one with the little foot attached is my prototype. And you can see very clear, if I get the light on it, you can see the little printer marks, right? Because I don't really know what I'm doing. And this is what happens when you do know what you're doing with a 3D printer, is you can make it look really nice. And you can barely see any marks on this thing. And the side texture, which is the most visible part, is actually a nice texture there. So yeah, that is the difference when you are using properly calibrated tools. Okay, we are going to go back to, the desk. And audio. Yes. Is there a version in white? No, there is not. We are doing just the black versions. Okay. So coupon worked? Okay, yes, great. Let me share my screen so I can walk through that too. I should be able to show you all this. So the link, of course, first of all, it's in the video description, but I'll drop it in the chat as well. That button is what I wanted to press. So this is the website I made for it. And these links take you to the main pages on the stores for the bundles. So the US store is DVE store. This is the base stand. And if you search PK1 Extreme, you should find the bundles. So yeah, here is the bundle with the back feet, and here's the bundle with the clips. And you might notice that the cost is the two together. So it is the $149 for the base plus $15 for the clips. And if you add that to your cart, and view your cart and use the coupon code Parecki. That should take $15 off, bringing the cost back down to the base model. So basically you're getting the little add-on for free. That's the idea with the coupon code. And then same with the one with the clips. If we go over to the European store, this one lists actually all the little bundles on this page. So you've got the base and oh, it looks like they just have the pricing set to the same for now. So you don't even need the coupon code for this one. And later these will go up to the normal price, but for now they are just available right there. And then the Australia store over here does the same thing with all the little bundles. And they actually also have bundles that include the actual small rig parts if you want those too. So you can get lots of different combos of things if you actually want to get the small rig parts from them to save on shipping, because then you at least get it all in one box. So those are the three different options for getting the stand. And then this shows you all the different things you can do with it and how it all works as the optional supports. These links link out to the specific little add-on if you want to buy that separately later for some reason. And yeah, and then I've linked down to the small rig parts or the little SSD holders, as well as the monitors I've used with it. This is that 10-inch monitor that I used in some of the photos here. And this 10-inch monitor is a really good size for the Extreme. The 7-inch feels a little bit small on such a large device now. So the 10-inch is a good size. I'll drop a link to that one in the chat because yeah, I've been really enjoying that 10-inch monitor. So okay, yeah. Thanks though. UK is having some tax issues importing items from Europe. UK is having a lot of issues with Europe, and that is their problem. I am sorry that it is so awful, but yeah. Oh, Inix says on X3D Studio, it says for shipping to the UK, please contact us. We can arrange shipping with duty paid. That is fantastic. They will take care of you. Thank you for that. So, okay. Yeah, that monitor, that little 10-inch monitor, that's the one I've been using actually on my teleprompter over on the table. And it is also a fantastic size for the Extreme. The Rode Wireless Go, Hollyland Mars. Yep, cool. Okay, that is the website. So that is, I think that's about it. Yeah. So what else? Oh, this is a great question, Angelo. Is there any difference in print quality between the stores? So this is different from the first stand. And let me talk about this for a minute. The way that we are doing the Extreme stand, I'm doing it totally different than the first one. So the first one, I didn't have any idea what it was going to take to create a product, launch it, any of that. So I basically did it the laziest way possible for me personally, which was give the files to people and tell them they can print and sell it. And then I made an arrangement for royalties and stuff. But basically I was just like, all right, it's out there, make it happen. Leave me out of it. And that definitely made it easy for me to get it out there, made it actually possible to launch it and, get it out in March when I did, which was great. And then I realized that there's actually a lot of benefits to like having a little bit more control over the production of it and distribution of it, mainly quality. So once I saw the ones that Nix 3D Studio was making, I was like, oh, these are like really good quality. They definitely have a process down, and I want to make sure that everybody is getting this. So what we're doing for the Extreme stand is they are the only ones making it. And they have two different places that make it, one in Europe and one in Australia, but they're set up the same way and they are basically the same factory, if you want to call it that. Oh, which I wanted to actually show you the the things in production. So the printers that they're using look something like this, and these are hard at work making all these little parts. We're doing, we started production of these early, so we're assuming we're going to get some orders today, and we won't be able to actually ship them out in time. So these are the only places these are being made. So that means that we've done quality checks on them. We have the packaging. We've got the packaging set up, consistently, so you get the instruction booklet and everything, and all the screws are right and the same and consistent across everything. So that is very different from how I handled the original mini stand. So I'm pretty excited that now I know what you're going to get when you buy it, regardless of where you buy it from. So you'll see that, DVE Store is selling it, but they're getting it from this printer. And they are, so it is, you will get a box that says NX 3D on it, and you will get that exact same package. So oh, thanks, Thor. Appreciate it. Thank you for ordering. So yeah, that I'm really excited about that, and you will also see probably some other stores carrying them soon in other places. I know there's the another retailer in Australia is going to be stocking them as well, and it is all the same product now. It is actually all the ones being made from the NX 3D studios. So can we get the mini printed from NX 3D? You can. So if you go to, actually, let me just show you on my computer. I'll show you how to do this. So if you go back to the web page for the first one, which is this one, Controlling Technologies, ordered with feet and clips. Excellent, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so if you go to the original page, and if you click on the EU or Asia stores, probably EU, I think shipping from Australia is expensive to the US. If you're in the US, you can still order from here. So you can still order it from here, and then if you order it from here, you will get that version shipped to you. It will be coming from Europe, but so the shipping might be a little bit more expensive, but you will get it, and it will be that one. I am working out a way to sell the NX versions at DVE Store, but we have to still work on that agreement of how that works. So, yep. Okay. Oh, thanks, Elaine. Although I have a 3D printer, I just ordered a stand. Awesome, yes. So the 3D printed version, I'm still working on it. It's gonna be different than the one you get, because there's so many parts in there and it takes so long to print. I didn't want to put everybody's home printers through that kind of stress. Plus the parts are really long, and they kind of there's a risk that you will run into some quality issues on home 3D printers, and I didn't want that to happen. So I'm doing things a little bit differently with the 3D version, 3D printed version, and that will be available on the 26th when these all ship. So this is the pre-order time right now, and during the pre-order stage, that's where you get this discount code and all that. So during this stage, I'm still working on the 3D printed model. Eventually, once they ship on the 26th, I will also launch the 3D printed version, which is, again, it's going to look a little bit different, but it should be easier to print on your own printer if you did want to. But I will tell you, unless you are really good at 3D printing, it's not going to look as nice as the ones you are going to be able to buy. Oh, Chris, yes, I ordered the file for the mini stand. When the updated file is available, will I get a discount for it? I'm actually going to just email, so because all the orders for that go through Gumroad, I have a way to just like send an email to everybody who's ordered, and I'm just going to send everybody the updated file for the mini stand. It's not a lot of tweaks. The main tweaks are the 2 additional holes for the add-ons later, and and then a little bit cleaner insides of less stuff blocking access to the screw holes. So it's not going to be like functionally different. So I'm just going to send it to everybody in case you do want to print one of those yourself. Mike says, done, order the bundle. Thanks. Are the screws come in the box. You get all the screws. You don't need to buy anything else. If you're buying the bundles from the stores, it's all there in the box. So I'm much happier to be able to do that instead of make you chase around screws from Amazon and stuff. So yeah, that's the deal with the, when you get it in the box, you get everything you need. You don't even need to buy small rig parts now to make it work. So I'm happy about that. Appreciating the meta nature of a video presentation about a stand for the ATEM Extreme being streamed live via an ATEM Extreme. Indeed, I am on the ATEM Extreme today, streaming live, and that's how I can do things like SuperSource and show you this video of all the little printers in action, which is super fun. Thanks, Joseph. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you on a Sunday. Oh, Sneaky Pete, thanks for the super chat. How can I control an ATEM Mini Extreme that is set up in a middle spare bedroom and control from the office in the same house? Networking is your friend. That is the answer. So the ATEM, of course, is wired networking only, so you'll need to run a wire to something. You could hop it onto your wireless if you do some fancy router tricks, but easiest way is just run a cable to another room, to your office, a network cable, and then it'll be on your network, and you can, it's actually, once you just plug it into your router, it just shows up in the software control on your computer. Michael George says, does it take the same small rig parts as the mini stand? It does. It takes the exact same, and it has the same screw hole spacing for the 1091, and I forget the model number of the larger cheese plate, but both of those fit onto the sides in the same way as on the mini stand as well. And you don't need to put the small rig bar on the top. You could replace the plastic one with the small rig bar, but the plastic one will work fine for the stand as well. Just ordered the full hullabaloo from Europe. Excited. Awesome. Thanks. And Mikey as well. Thank you. Oh, yes, Pete, follow up on the remote ATEM question. No, the multi-view, any video out, you're gonna have to run through video cables. So seeing the multi-view, you'll need to run, HDMI is probably not gonna work because it would need to be too long unless you use the fiber HDMI cables, or you could stream that using some other encoder or run a long SDI cable. So lots of options there, but yeah, you'll need to route the video separately from the control of it. Now I order the stand, I need an Extreme to fill the empty space on the stand. Don't order the stand if you don't have an Extreme. It's not going to be very useful for anything else. It's specifically designed for the Extreme and not like a generic laptop stand. We need the time lapse of the stand being made for the next month. Yeah, they are doing some time lapse photos though, so I will hopefully have some time lapse photos to share. It can hold a large keyboard. It can awkwardly hold a large keyboard. Yes, it is not. It is not designed to hold a large keyboard, but thanks. Chris says, would you design an attachment to attach a Stream Deck to the ATEM stand? Yes, I have definitely been considering doing that. If I don't have enough cameras now. Do I have enough cameras to show you this? Yeah, I do. Let me just steal this one. So I can show you my desk. Oh, hey, Kajoli Technologies, another super chat. Plan to use the stand for a loaf of bread. Okay. This is bread stand. Sure. You know what? Okay, there's the camera. Now I can go to that one. So yeah, if you look at the Stream Deck, it's actually a very similar size to the Extreme, right? And I kind of like the idea of it sitting right there. So I've definitely been thinking about it, about switching, about designing a side add-on for the, oh, sorry, the audio switched over there when I pressed that button. Oh, Angelo Jack, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Looks like my little script is doing something funny with the message, which was empty. That one looks better. Sorry, let me say that again, since I screwed up my audio. I forgot that I have just a button I can switch to. So the Stream Deck is a very convenient size compared to the Extreme, and it would look very nice sitting right there, I think. So that is something I've been considering, and I think it would be like, the angles are really tricky because, like, see how this is a different angle than the Extreme angle, so it's going to take some geometry to figure that one out. But the idea would be to make it sit flush with the Extreme right here. So it'd be a little stand for that would like screw onto the side here. Definitely interested in doing that. But yeah, now that this is out and the mini version is out, I can take a break because my God, that was a lot of work. And then we can start doing some fun stuff with add-ons. Loaf of bread, cheese plate, it all makes sense now. Yes. Stream Deck wants a solid ground for when you get mad at it and punch the buttons. Don't punch the buttons on your Stream Deck. Side bolt stand, yep. I would really appreciate a nice dust cover for the Extreme. You will get one. I talked to the people at DeckSaver that made the one for the Mini, and they are working on one for the Extreme. So I did the same thing where I made sure that if you're going to be using a dust cover, don't get the little clips that hold it down because that blocks the DeckSaver cover. So the cover needs to go. Where those little clips sit. So it's one or the other, really. And but yeah, there will be a DeckSaver cover, acrylic cover to cover over as a dust cover or whatever you want, block the buttons. And I have no idea when they're going to launch it, but they are working on it. So in the meantime, I designed mine to make sure it would hold that. So that will work. Can we buy your stands for the Blackmagic microconverter bidirectional SDI? I have not made those available for purchase, as in like purchasing the physical version of them, but the plans for them are available for free. I didn't bother selling those plans. I didn't think the market was very big for that. But I can show you, I'll share the link to that in the chat here. And that is, it is here, it's on my website, and that's what it looks like behind my rack. And then these are the 4 different parts that make it up. So you got a base if you do want it at an angle. If you are using this, this rack mount that I'm using is at a slight angle. Otherwise you can just leave that off. And then this becomes the one at the bottom. And then you've got, this is the one you need at the top of the stack. And then that's the sort of cover over it all. It does not, it's not, they don't bolt in. So that's all just sort of friction holding it. So it's not like, don't like put it in a truck. It'll probably come apart. Well, it probably won't come apart. Probably it won't be super happy, but it does work well if you're just sort of sitting still. And these are just available for free. You can just download these. So I'm going to go, let me go and just drop that link in the chat. And cool. It's probably not going to look good on the screen. No. Okay. It's in the chat. Okay. Oh, thanks, Eric, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thanks for everything you've done for the community. It's fun. I'm glad to have a community to share all this stuff with. Don't cover your Extreme unless you turn it off. Heat kills. That's an interesting point. Although the top of the Extreme is not where the heat is. It's not where the heat is. I guess that was the end of the sentence. There's a vent on the back, and you want to make sure that the back isn't blocked. So that's where it needs to discharge heat. And then the sides are where it pulls cool air in. So it will pull in air from the side here, push it out of the back, and if you feel back here, it actually gets pretty warm, and you can kind of feel this top bar warming up. But it's, as long as that's open, you don't have any worry about heat, really. Randy, thanks for the super chat. Are there any cheaper Lumix or other camera with quality than the other G7? I am one of the pre-orders yesterday for the stand, just added the other parts. Great. Some people figured out how to find the store links. So cheaper than the G7 with quality near the G7? I don't think so. As far as I've found, oh, maybe one of the Canon. No, I think the Canon one's not clean HDMI. The G7 at $500, including the kit lens, I'm pretty sure is the cheapest you can get for that kind of quality for streaming. The Sony ZV-1, which is this little tiny camera over here, this is the ZV-1, which the quality is good, but the camera and the lens is built into the camera, and it's also like $750, so it's not even cheaper than the Lumix. Autofocus on that's way better than the Lumix, though. Morgan, thank you for the super chat. Extreme question, how loud is the fan? About to return mine, worried it's faulty, but wanted to check what's normal first. Okay, there's been a lot of discussion about the fan situation. And as far as I can tell, it should be silent. It is, like, I literally cannot hear mine. The loudest thing on my desk right now is the fan upgrade I did to my Matrix. So this Blackmagic thing had really loud fans, and I swapped them out for quieter fans. I can hear it. I won't say it's loud anymore. And this thing is way quieter than that. I literally can't hear any noise coming off of this. I can, I don't know, like, I'm trying to find a way to measure it for people, but it's so quiet that I don't even think the tools to measure would be able to detect any sound. I did notice if I went to put my ear like literally 2 inches next to it, I can hear a very low clicking of the fan, but I can only hear it if my ear is literally next to the intake of the fan. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to do like an actual test of this, but the problem is that it's so quiet that literally everything else in the room, including the window, is louder than the Extreme. The bottom of the Extremes get hot too. That's why it's lifted off the desk. Video is delayed. I think I'm going to blame YouTube. It should be in sync. Just hit refresh or hit the live button again. Random question, picked up a Raspberry Pi Zero. Have you played with one yet? Do you think it has enough power to help with anything in production? I haven't done any video stuff off of the Pi Zero, but I have a couple of things. I have a couple of them doing mostly like, you can't even really see it, but see that little bright spot? That's actually a YouTube subscriber counter in a little grid, LED grid. So it's a Pi Zero on that. I haven't tried one for video stuff. I don't know how well it would work like as a streaming bridge receiver or version, for example. Yeah, airflow for the top is relatively unimportant. Happy to report my old mini ISO runs hours with the cover on without issues. Yeah, me too. On the desk, I have my ISO over there, and I've been running a stream for the 3D printer. Here, I'll share this with you because why not? I have a streaming page for the 3D printer when I'm printing prototypes. So if you do want a sneak peek of stuff coming in, it is not on YouTube, but it is at this link. Oh, Quick Tech Solutions. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks a lot. The link to the printer stream. So printer.aaronpk.tv. And I'm probably not going to link to this in the description because I don't want like everybody to hit this link. But feel free to pull that up and, you know, keep an eye on it if you want to see my printer printing things randomly. It'll be printing prototypes of whatever I am working on next. I have headphones on and your sound environment is quiet. It is very quiet in here. certainly the ATEM is not the loudest thing in the room. YouTube is having some issues today. They have been having issues a lot. Run my stream for 8 hours with no fan noise. Yeah, I mean, mine is literally on 24/7, and on Friday I ran it for 6 hours streaming straight, like actually streaming for 6 hours, and still no noise. Lumix is called G70. I think it's called G70 in Europe. I think it's still G7 in the US. I don't understand why they make different model numbers for the different markets, but I think it's the same camera. Is there a place I can see the links for the attachments you have to the stand? The clips, the little clamps to hold it down, and the back feet are linked from the product page. So follow the link to the product page and scroll down. There's a picture of them, and there's links to those there. We don't have any of the sort of like back attachments done yet. So, and I'm hoping that other people will design back attachments with those 2 extra screw holes too. Okay. Dust cover also covers the ports where dust would get inside. Oh, so if you're talking about like dust cover for using it in a wood shop where there's sawdust blowing around, that's a whole different story. I think it's not meant for that kind of environment. So I do know that someone actually is using their ATEM Mini or several ATEM Minis in a wood shop and has like plastic taped over it with painter's tape, and has been working. I don't remember if they covered up the air intake or not, which would be a little bit rough. But the covering the intakes, protecting that from dust, that's a challenge. I'm not sure how you'd want to handle that best. But the dust cover for the top at least like protects the buttons, makes it so you can't accidentally just like lean on it and screw stuff up. So, okay, I have a thing. That wasn't. That wasn't the button I meant to press. I have a thing for this. Let me show you how this works. This is an audio meter, and it is probably a lot more accurate than an iPhone app. And I'm talking at this, and it's 80 something decibels. Okay. If I stop talking, you'll see what the ambient sound of the room is. Okay, so it's 39. So if I put it next to the ATEM, and you're gonna have to take my word for this. Actually, maybe I can show you on this camera if it's long enough. If I put it next to, so it's sitting here next to the ATEM. I'm gonna stop talking. Okay, it's hovering at 40, 41. That's 2 higher than the room noise when it was pointed at me. So it's not really, yeah, it's not, there's not any sound coming out of that thing. The sound of the, like I said, the sound of the fan coming from the switcher is, or the what's it called? Matrix is a lot louder. So I'm gonna do some tests with that because it's an actual tool for measuring. Yeah, I can't hear my Extreme once it started up. I agree. If you're hearing, if you are like arm's length away and you can hear it, I would say it has a problem. YouTube dropped the last 5 minutes of my stream this morning. Ah, yikes. Okay. Okay, where was I? In the chat. Just did a test of Blackmagic streaming bridge compared to the Pi bridge. Pi was 4-second delay. Yep. Streaming bridge was half a second delay. Yeah, and that on Friday, I swear I was getting even less than half a second delay on that, which was incredible. They've done some magic there with the streaming bridge. But hey, the Pi bridge can accept RTMP from anything, not just an ATEM Mini Pro. But yeah, it is delayed. This is a good point. Depends Depends on the local temperature. My room is about 68 to 72 degrees at all times. I have a thermometer over there, so that's the ambient temperature in here, and it stays pretty consistent. If it was hotter in here, it might be cranking up the fan a little bit more, but I haven't had that happen at all. Okay. Cool, thanks. Are the mini stands being produced now using the updated plans? They will be starting this week, so I'm sending those off to everybody this week, and I'm gonna be sending those to everybody who's printing them, not just the NX printers. Is the HyperDeck Mini controllable only via IP, or can it be plugged into my Mac via USB-C and control the ATEM software control? No, it is only IP control. So the ATEM can talk to it over IP, and that's the only control mechanism for it. When is your next show with Photo Joseph? We've almost nailed down the date. Almost nailed down the date. So hopefully it'll be at the end of this month. I don't remember the exact date we were tentatively planning. Yep, the good meters are pricey. This one wasn't like cheap, but it wasn't horribly expensive. Yeah, PyBridge is awesome for the generic RTMP case. Thanks for purchasing the pre-order. I hope it works out too. So far, so good. Do you have a course about how to use the ATEM Mini from beginner to advanced? I do not. I've been thinking about doing it, but it turns out it's a lot of work. And yeah, let me just say something. The amount of time this launch has taken is out of control. I have not done anything for YouTube other than this stand until, or since rather, I'm forgetting my words. I haven't done anything on YouTube other than this stand since March, beginning of March, since the first launch of the first stand. All of the time I have available for YouTube work has been designing, printing prototypes, talking with the distributors, talking with the printers, negotiating all that stuff, working on the website for it. I still have more to do because I'm still working on the 3D printed version, and I'm going to release that as those plans in like 2 weeks. So the yeah, making videos. I'm looking forward to getting back to making videos again, because I haven't even made like any videos since the last video I made was about the stand. And that's also the next video I have to make is about the stand. And so yeah, no time to do anything else. But yes, Photo Joseph has been releasing a great series. He's been doing a bunch of short videos about ATEM Mini tips. And also John Barker from Here to Record has. So they've been beating me on content a lot lately because I have been just trying to get this stand shipped. What is the height of the new stand? Do I have a ruler? I don't have a ruler. Oh, but I have the plans. So let me share this again. Okay, so this is the model, and I should be able to just measure this. It's going to be in millimeters. It is 130 millimeters. So, what is that in inches? I have no idea. There's the answer. 130 millimeters tall. 132 inches. That is 5.1 inches tall. Your stream from yesterday, actually it was 2 days ago. You almost sounded drunk from lack of sleep. Yes, I am not at all surprised. Pre-order process in Europe works well. Excellent. Thanks. They sell HDMI port dust covers on Amazon. Oh, that's an idea. Plug up the ports you're not using. But still, you want to leave the air intakes, so I don't know if... Yeah. I've noticed your videos had slowed down since the Extreme launch. They have stopped since the first stand. The only videos I've been doing are live streams because I don't need to prepare these. Yeah, make sure you use the Parecki discount code to get one of the add-ons included in the bundles. Oh yeah, how long until the pre-orders ship? The shipping date on all these, it should have said it in the checkout process of the stores. I think they all put the shipping date on them. Anyway, the shipping date for all these is the 26th. So it would be basically 2 weeks from now. So Monday in 2 weeks, and that is so that we can make sure that we actually can produce enough. And since we've been like so last minute on all of this, we just finalized the design, and then they need to crank the printers and get those running, which is, they're hard at work, busy printing away, and those are all running, printing up the first batch. And that's why, like, in a perfect world, I actually wouldn't have even mentioned that the stand was out there until the 26th, when it's just available. But everyone's been asking for the stand for so long that I was like, I think we need to do pre-orders first, just so that people know it exists. So the current delivery on the ATEM Mini stands in the US, yeah. So everything will be shipping out on the 26th using whatever local delivery option is available. So I don't know, like, it depends on what country you're in. The ones in the US will be shipping from DVE store in Washington. So depending on where you are, that'll be a different number of days arriving. The coupon code again, it's just my name. So it is Parecki, all caps, and that will give you the one of the add-ons. So make sure you find the bundle version of like the stand plus the clips, or the stand plus the back legs, and and that will give one of those to you for free, so that you will get at the cost of the base stand. Happy to wait for it. Pre-order is a good idea for supply chain. Yes, all of the printers are very happy to also have the pre-orders, which gives them a opportunity to ramp up and create an appropriate amount so they can actually ship all in time. Otherwise, if it was entirely print on demand, you may actually have to wait longer, because we wouldn't be able to create them ahead of time without risking making too many of them. If I ordered a couple weeks ago, didn't know about the code, how do we get the extra add-ons? This is just for the Extreme stand. So if you ordered a couple weeks ago, you were getting the Mini stand, which is a totally different thing. So the this launch is for the Extreme stand, and it was not available until, well, some people figured out it was available yesterday once we were putting all the store pages together. It turns out coordinating a launch in 3 stores in 3 different parts of the world, drastically different time zones, is almost impossible. And I am going to try to not... Oh, thanks, Philip. I am going to try to not time a product launch on a Sunday again, because that was not the best day. Thanks, Philip, though. We're here to support you, even while you haven't had time to make more YouTube videos. Yes. I do hope to get back to that. I do have a lot of gear sitting here waiting to be reviewed from companies that were very nice enough to send things to me. So I do want to make sure I get a chance to talk about those products as well. And I will say this, going through the process of designing, creating and designing and manufacturing and launching a product, it gives me a lot of sympathy for all of the other companies that are sending stuff to me to review, because they've gone through that process, which was, I'm sure, exponentially harder, because those are often electronics products, which are just way more complicated logistically and in the design and all that. So yeah, this is definitely giving me an interesting perspective on that whole thing. So yeah. Can you put a link to the 10-inch monitor again? I was listening in the car. It is linked from the product page. Don't worry about it. But I'll see if I can find it. It is the 10-inch monitor is pretty cool. Here is the link. Cool. Thanks, Adam. I wish you well. The Switch Pod was developed by creators, and it's a great product. I do like the Switch Pod. I agree. Has Teradek sent you the Video X? Nope, they haven't. I haven't talked to Teradek at all, actually. I haven't heard from them on any of this stuff yet. Where's a place for someone who wants to build a product to start? Manufacturers, books, knowledge base. You know, that is an excellent question. I have no idea. I don't know. How did I even... I don't even know how I did this, honestly. The iPad app that I'm using was one that I found for, oops. There we go. The iPad is, it's Shaper 3D, and I designed the entire thing in this. Like, I have not used a computer for this at all. It is all done in this iPad. And the modeling software is, it's really cool. And then I had to figure out, like, how do I translate that into printing and what are the constraints of printing? So I started by designing simple things that are like made out of one piece and, you know, printed, see how it works, see what are the constraints. And then I kind of just started making more complicated things. The stand for the little converters was one of the more complicated things. But then so then this ended up being a lot of engineering by feel, which I talked about last week on it. I've not done any math on this thing, but yeah, to Joe's point, always start with customers and prove the demand first. This is why the ATEM stand is the first one I've launched this way. So I designed that converter cage stack, and the converter cages, I was like, this is something I need. I need it for my studio. However, I don't think the demand is very high for it. And because I didn't think the demand was very high for it, I was like, I'm just going to post it as a blog post and make the plans available for free, because I don't really think I'll be able to sell these either as 3D plans or as a product. I don't think the demand is that high for them. I could be wrong, but that was my guess. So I was just like, all right, here you go. You can go grab the STLs if you really want to print them yourself. And I still would love to see people's photos if you have printed them. But yeah, the figuring out the demand, I did suspect there was going to be enough demand for the ATEM Mini stands to make it into a real product. And then I had to figure out how to do it as a real product. And that's when so what I did was I found DVE Store. They were selling an early version of an ATEM Mini stand. It was just the little side pieces. And I was like, this is cool, but you know, I have all these other things I want to do with a stand. But they were selling it 3D printed by somebody in the US. And I went to them and I was like, hey, if I give this guy plans, can you sell a bigger version of the stand? They were like, yeah, sure. And then once that was launched, other people started getting in touch with me, and that's how I got connected to Inex 3D, and then I was just so impressed with what they did with the whole thing of the packaging and designing the instruction booklet. And I was like, okay, this is clearly like how I want to do the next one. So it was just a lot of trial and error, and I guess not like reading any books about how to do it, because I don't even know what books to... Is there a book that's like how to launch your first 3D printed product? I don't know. Seems like it'd be a good book though. Maybe somebody should write that. Maybe that somebody should not be me. What iPad app did I use for designing? Yeah, it is called Shaper 3D. It is, let me spell that out because it's confusing. Shaper 3D. I wish I had an affiliate program, because I'm a huge fan and I would send a lot of people their way. Are you sure you're not also a civil engineer? I am sure. I took some physics classes in college and did not like them very much, and that's about it. But I do have a lot of background in like hand work. What do you call it? Like woodworking, not a lot. I have grade school background in those things. So in grade school, we had a lot of like using woodworking tools, everything from just the rudimentary like saws and files, and then some motorized tools eventually later, and lathes and drill presses and stuff. I took one CNC class in college, which was a really interesting manufacturing process too, totally different than the additive of 3D printing. But I definitely no actual certifications or anything like that. John, thanks. Yeah, Joseph and I and John Barker, we all really like talking about this stuff and teaching people stuff. How high in centimeters is the stand? I think I just, what was it? 17? Did I say 170 millimeters? 170 something. No, less than that. It was 140. It was a little over 5 inches. Now I forgot it. 130? I said it like, scroll back. It's like 10 minutes ago. How about having the vendors offer a pack of extra screws and nuts for the 2 models of stands? I just dropped a... Oh no! 5.1 inches, everybody says. Nobody remembers the millimeters. They do sell the screws for the base one because you can get those screws if you don't want to buy like the Amazon kits. You can get the screws for the 3D printed version of that one. But yeah, maybe I will ask them to make a listing for just the screws for the Extreme Stand. Just joined late. The code, it is my last name. It is called Parecki. Cool. 130 millimeters was the height. Yes. Keep an eye out for emails or phone calls from some book publishers. Who knows? You might have a high dollar book deal coming your way. Yeah, sure. I don't need more projects. This is the manufacturing of all this is being done by NX3D in Europe and Australia. So they are the ones producing these now. Shaper 3D is also available on Mac Big Sur Beta. Ooh, interesting. Is that because of the iPad app compatibility thing? I will say I'm not sure I would actually enjoy it on my Mac. One of the reasons it's so nice on the iPad is specifically because of the pencil. So let me see if I can get my camera angle here. So the nice thing about the pencil is that your finger navigates, so you can zoom, pinch to zoom, scroll around. Wherever you tap is the pivot point too. So if you tap there, it pivots from there. And if you tap there, it pivots from there, which is like, I don't see that in 3D design software very often. It's just very nice to navigate. And if you want to modify stuff, you use the pencil. So that's where you can select surfaces. And having these two different ways of interacting with it is something you do not get on a computer. And that's why I think I actually would rather not design this on a computer. I would rather do it on an iPad because of the pencil. It's such a nice experience. I do need longer days. Can somebody solve that for me? Can the stand with clips be used to fasten the Extreme to a desk for use in a public room? Actually, yeah. So let me go back over to the other table and show that again. Wrong camera. There we go. So now my audio should be back. Yeah. The clips. So if I show you the whoops, this is the prototype again, so excuse the print quality. But these hold it down. There is a screw up there. It's a hex screw, so at least it's not Phillips. Of course, somebody can take that out. But between these two screws, these hold it down. And then there is a hole on the bottom of the stand. This one, if it's a 1/4-inch screw. So you could put a big fat screw down from here into a table, into like a desk. So you could just go and bolt this whole thing to the desk. And once this is on the desk, the clips would then hold the ATEM down. And I do think that would work pretty well, actually. Okay. Oh, the spelling. It's the people that are selling this. So if you go click on any of the stores, it'll you'll find it. But it is Inex 3D. Let's make 25-hour days and 10-day weeks mandatory. Yeah, I like it. Anyone with kids would never say, I need longer days. Yeah, I don't have kids, so I don't have that problem. Might use your mini stand to help justify a 3D printer versus buying pre-built. Are you super happy with the Prusa Mini Plus? Is at the top of my list. I am super happy is an excellent description of what I am with that printer. I did not want to go down the path of tinkering with 3D printers. I want to be able to tinker with 3D printing and making things out of it. And everything that I had read about most of the other ones require a lot of knowledge about the actual machines themselves. And then I saw the Prusa Mini and they were like, this is a printer that you do not need to tinker with. It will just work with some basic maintenance. And so far, that has exactly been my experience with it. It has been, like I said, I did not do any calibration other than the first setup. And I've been able to print all this stuff with it. Like the stands that I'm using are all the prototypes I've printed myself. And it's been fantastic, 100%. And I also have only used their filament. So I'm a little bit, I'm curious to try some other cheaper filament or at least easier to get because I have to ship it from them. So it takes a while to get here. But the Prusa Mini app with the filament, it's such a good out of the box experience. So yep. Okay. Cool. Yep. That is exactly what I was looking for too. Oh, thank you, Jamie. I appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the order. Thank you. Okay. Code not working with DVE store. I literally just went through it. It is for one of the bundles. So make sure you add one of the bundle versions, and you may have to search for those. I'm gonna go fix my web page to link to those bundles because I realized I did not link to them. But if you go to the US link, and then I'll also ask them to link to their bundles down here. But if you at least just search for PK1 Extreme, then you'll find their bundles, which are here, these two. So that's the one with the back clips. That's the one with the top clips. And if you do that and add it to your cart, then the coupon will take the price down to the price of the base one. So you get the clips for free, basically. That's a long way of saying that. Yep. All right. Does Prusa have US sales? They ship. No, they ship from Prague. Okay. I think we're done. I think we're done with this. Anything else that I am forgetting? I showed you the production version. I'm going to go assemble it now so I can actually use it. But the production version, the nice little instruction booklet, and all the screws are included, which is great. So you actually can buy just the Extreme Stand, and it will be totally functional out of the box. Links to all of the additional smaller parts if you want to bolt more stuff to the sides. Those are all on the website. And everyone is forgetting to like the stream. Yeah, go ahead and give this a thumbs up. And with that, I think we're going to wrap it up there. And thank you all so much. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for hanging out all the time. Didn't get to too many more ATEM questions this time. That's okay. This is the unboxing stream. I'll be back next week, and we will do more regular Q&A. Hopefully we will, I guess in a couple of weeks, we'll be able to see some photos of all of the stands arriving in your studios. And I do want to make sure, I do want you to tweet your pictures at me. There's a little, you'll get a little card in the box too that has like my Twitter and Instagram. Would love to see your pictures of your setups once you get these running. So the once you get this up and built, and yeah, love to see it. Okay, that's it. Thank you all for watching. Give us a thumbs up. Thanks for your support. Subscribe to my email list because YouTube notifications are terrible. There's a link to my email list down below as well. And yeah, we will see you again next week. Bye.